Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at three tanks in particular, three tanks that are in the Blitz store, and to be honest, it's quite a good deal. It is quite a good deal for 6,000 gold. For 6,000 gold, you can buy three tanks. One of them's a tier 5, one of them's a tier 6, and one of them is a tier 7. Now, we're going to look at the tier 6 first, which is the AC Sentinel, the AC4 Sentinel. Now, I mean, it's an okay tank. It's nothing special. Compared to the other tier 6s around this tank, you've got the Panzer IV-S, you've got the Cromwell B. I mean, it isn't nothing too spectacular. It isn't nothing spectacular. It could do the job. It can do the job. But it's not got a great armour. The gun's okay, the reload's okay, the rate of fire, I mean, all that is okay. But there are just so many other tier 6 premium tanks that are better than this. But if you haven't got it, I mean, it's not a bad tank. It's not a bad tank at all. It's just not the greatest. It's not the greatest. So this you can get in the bundle. It is down as an Australian tank. So I used to like my first battle in this. If you look back, it was one of my first videos actually. It was quite funny because this and the tier 4 Sentinel just got released together, and I really wanted to make a video. They were new tanks. I wanted to make a video, so I was like, right, I'm going to quickly play it before my wife gets home from work. I played the tier 4 one. I was in the middle of playing the tier 6 one, and my wife literally pulled up in the car, and I was having such a good game that I had to run to the toilet and pretend I was doing a number 2 just so I can finish the game off. And in the end, I got an ace on my first battle and I got 7 kills. So it was worth pretending that I was in the toilet to finish that battle off. But really, ever since then, it's not a tank. I've got so many tanks, and it's not a tank that I sit there and I think, you know what, I'm going to play this. If I wanted to play tier 6, it would be the Panzer IV-S or it would be the Cromwell B. It would not be this. So if you do have the Cromwell B, if you do have the Panzer IV-S, then you're not going to enjoy this as much, and it probably isn't worth getting. But you can't get this on its own. It's as a deal. So if you look at it in general over the deal, now I would only buy the deal for this for the tier 7 tank. I absolutely love the tier 7 tank, and quite frankly, I would probably pay about 5k gold for it anyway, at least. So basically, you are getting the tier 7 tank and 2 tanks for free. So if you look at it like that, then yes, it will probably be worth it. If you own the tier 7 already, then these tanks, the bundle is probably definitely not worth buying. So the second tank, which is the tier 5, and it is the Excelsior. Now, I actually own the Hall of Fame, or I had the Hall of Fame. I haven't actually checked in a while for this tank. So I got for like 3,500 damage. It was number 1 in Hall of Fame for forever. I don't know if it still is. I haven't checked. I'm assuming it's up there. Maybe number 1 or number 2. I don't know. But it was a tank that I absolutely loved in tier 5. I really adored this tank. Now it did actually get buffed. It did actually get buffed not too long ago. I think it got the front plate buff or something like that. But having played it to get footage again, now I haven't played this since update 5.5. And I'm thinking, you know what, this tank, how could I have ever loved this tank so much back in the day? I mean, I loved it so much, it was my favourite tier 5. It was my favourite tier 5 in the game. Because everyone didn't rate this tank, and I'm sitting there thinking, why? I love it. Like, why don't none of you guys rate this tank? I think it's absolutely fantastic. After the 5.5, playing it just to get this footage, and I can see why. I mean, the penetration just doesn't seem to go through anything. The armour, I mean, I really don't seem to bounce much now. I mean, you used to bounce almost every shot or every other shot in the tank. Now, you can bounce a couple, and that's about it. So, I was a bit disappointed going to play this tank again. I was, because the last time I played it, like I said, I absolutely loved the tank. But now, I mean, yeah, it's not the greatest, but then it's tier 5. It's tier 5, what can you expect? But again, there are just so many other tier 5s that are better than this. You've got if I was to choose a tier 5 to play, it will be the KV220, like, because the armor on that is just insane. Even though the penetration's not good, but the armor is just crazy. So Excelsior, it isn't the greatest tank, and I mean, you can get this in the tech tree. You can buy this one in the tech tree whenever you want anyway. So again, if you own the tier 7 and you were looking at the other two tanks, then I would definitely think it's, you know what, I would leave this bundle. But if you don't own the tier 7, then I would definitely suggest getting the bundle just for this tank, the FV201. Now, we are going to watch Evo Catty, and when this tank is top tier, it is insane. It's the rate of fire of the thing is crazy. I mean, 3.2 seconds reload. I don't think Evo Catty is running calibrated shells, which I would definitely recommend running the calibrated shells, because your reload goes up to like 3.4, 3.5. So the reload is nothing. But without having the calibrated shells, you have 3,000 DPM. Now, 3,000 DPM for a heavy tank in tier 7 is really, really good. The penetration isn't the greatest on your AP, but if you're running calibrated shells on your APCR, you can get it up to 250 millimeters, which is plenty, which is absolutely plenty to go through tier 8 heavies. And you can start using that DPM. Your armor's not the greatest. I mean, your turret, you've got a pretty troll turret, and you have got a pretty troll upper plate, but against those tier 8 heavies, you are going to struggle to bounce. It's not possible. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. You can still do it, but you can't rely on it. It's got good gun depression as well, so use that gun depression. Use that rate of fire to really bully those enemy tanks, whether they're lower tier or higher tier. And you can bully the tanks. IS3s, IS6s, you can bully them, because as I said, if you can't pen them, switch to the APCR and you will start going through them like butter. You will. And that's what I love about the tank. 3.2 seconds, and you are literally, like this SU here, as soon as he shoots, you can fire sort of 3 or 4 shots into him, and you are just constantly shooting. And if you can find a tank that is in the open, that is not looking at you, then you can have a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun. So that is what Evo Catty is doing now, and he's going to now have the Sherman flyer to the right, and you can see he's just always looking at shooting. He's teaming now 2 tanks down, so he has to try and save as much hit points as he can, and he needs to try and deal with some of these tanks. And as you can see, he's actually bounced quite a lot, but he's top tiered. He's top tier. When you are top tier, this tank is literally OP, and I would say it's OP. When it's bottom tier, not so much. Now, you do have tanks like the Comet, the T-22, the T-23E3 that have the same kind of rate of fire, but they don't have that armor this thing has. They don't have the turret this thing has. They do have the gun depression, but this is a heavy tank. This is a heavy tank doing heavy things, and I mean, the rate of fire is amazing. It really is amazing, and the armor to go with that. It's a fun tank to play, and I absolutely adore this tank. I really do love this tank, especially when you are top tier and you can just go all out on the enemy. I mean, the enemy, when they're not looking at you, I mean, just look how much fun he's going to have against this Tiger 1. Just look, I mean, the Tiger 1 is a bit of a dummy. He's just looking at where the TDs are supposed to be. There is a couple of tanks there by where the TD position is, pretending to be TDs. So there goes the IS. It's now a 3 versus 5. And he is heading towards the Tiger. Now, he has plenty of hit points to deal with this Tiger face-to-face, one-on-one. Whether the Tiger is shooting him or not, he will have that DPM. And just look at this rate of fire. He is constantly shooting. And the Tiger 1 just doesn't want to know. He's just like, he's not doing much damage. No, he's not doing much damage per shot, but per minute, he is doing insane amount of damage. And look, the Tiger just didn't have time to do anything. So that now puts him on 2 kills, 1,300 block damage. So he's still blocked an awful amount of damage. And he's on 3k damage, 3.1. So he's already had a decent game. There goes the KV3 on his team. And it is now just a 2 versus 4. He needs to deal with this Biss here. Nice shot. The accuracy. It's a British tank, so the accuracy is actually really, really good. The aim time is pretty good as well. So I love a tank. I love a tank with the rate of fire of these kind of tanks. And I also love a tank that can hold its own when you are bottom tier. And this is just that kind of tank. It is that kind of tank. If you can get on a map like mine, use the ridges, even against tier H, you will be able to penetrate. And when you get tanks like this T29, misses his shot, he could just go all out. He could just go all out. He does have to use the APCR. He probably might not have to, but he wants to guarantee the pen now. He wants to guarantee the pen because his last teammate is just about to die. And when the T29 is not paying attention, I mean, just look at this. It is crazy and it's fun to do. If you don't have fun doing this kind of thing, then you should delete the game because that is fun. Opening up every 3.2 seconds, doing some damage is amazing. And that is why I love these kind of tanks. Now, he's not going to move because if he moves, he's going to be out in the open against 3 tanks. What he's just going to do, he's just going to wait. He's going to wait for them to come to him. And there is the Sherman Firefly. So he can get that shot off. He is still shooting APCR. I don't know if he's run out of AP or not. But again, he's using that DPM just absolutely crazy. See you later, Sherman Firefly. Next tank is the SU. He's now using the Tiger to go hold down. So this SU can only see his turret, which means he couldn't shoot. He had to try and aim at a weak point. And all of a sudden, he's on 5 kills, and it's just this P43 Biss left alive. He is a quick tank, so he does have to try and chase him. The Biss is doing the right thing now in running away, but there is only 1 minute left on the clock. He hasn't got time to cap. And if this Biss was, this P43 was smart enough, then he would at least get a draw from this thing. But as I've said about the accuracy is really, really good in a minute. And he's going to get a nice shot here as soon as this Biss is open. Can't quite get the shot there, but he's going to wait, he's going to wait, he's going to aim. He knows that the Biss is going around, so he's just going to sit there, wait, boom, see you later. 6 kills, 1,500 block damage, and 5,400 damage. Very well played, and that is what this tank is capable of. Nice credits as well. It's a good deal. If you don't own the FV201, it is a very, very good deal, and I definitely recommend it. If you do own the FV, then I definitely wouldn't recommend this bundle. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye. With